Hello, welcome back to Access. We've just seen the very first bit of gameplay from the new Hitman game. I'm joined by the studio head of IO Interactive, Hannes. Really nice to meet you. How are you?
Likewise, I'm fine, thank you.
And now, Hitman has always been a game about choice, being able to choose how you go about, killing your targets. And it seems the new game has that even more. And it was mentioned in the presentation, this is sort of like the game you've been building up to for years and years. Is that how it kind of feels to you at IO? Like the hardware has finally caught up to your visualization of what you originally thought Hitman was going to be?
Yeah, the current generation of hardware allows us to do things that we were not able to do before.
Yeah.
And what we did is Hitman has been around for 15 years, right? And we've been looking at what were the things that our fans really liked about that game, of each of these single games that we had. So there were 5 so far, right? We also looked at the stuff, honestly, what people didn't like so much. And then we took that and we tried to make a right blend of the great technology we had for Hitman Absolution, the high density kills, sandboxes, the great stealth action game, and the possibility to tamper with the AI any way you want and having all the little stories in the game. But we also looked at the big open levels of Blood Money. We looked at what was beautiful about the save game system we had back then, because it allows you to actually be way more creative with tampering with stuff. You save, you try it out, okay, that didn't work, so I load again. We couldn't do that with the checkpoints before. And all of that we took and added new features that we can now do with the new generation of hardware. And I hope that's what we achieved there. And we're actually pretty proud of that. And what we've seen so far, people really seem to like it.
Yeah.
And I think it hits the spot. And what we've shown so far was Paris. It's a level that is about 6 times bigger than the biggest level we had in Absolution.
Wow.
In Absolution we have the Streets of Hope, that was the biggest one. We also have more AI entities now, we couldn't do that before. So we simulate 300 entities in real time, all the time, in one level alone. In Absolution it was between 30 and 50, depending on the level. So that alone opens up, for a contract, you have 300 potential targets now in just one level. And the overall gameplay, what you can tamper with them, what you can do with them, also to fulfill the main mission, it's going to be very big. And that's something we're very happy about. Yeah.
Fantastic. You mentioned Paris, and it's a really beautiful looking level, and how it's 6 times bigger than the biggest thing you've had in Hitman before. Why is the size of the levels important for how Hitman works?
Yeah, because a Hitman it's a creative game. You have complete freedom of approach, right? And you have this, we call it we want to get the true assassination fantasy across.
Yeah.
That means you can decide what you do. You can go in guns blazing, right? You can also go in a suit, play social stealth, listen to people, find your advantage, trigger an accident, or make it look like an accident, poison someone, use a tool instead of a weapon, and things like that. And this is works better the more opportunities you have. So our levels, we call them a little bit like a Swiss cheese, so where you can get in and out anywhere. There are no dead ends, whether you go to the basement or the attic, or whether you go to the actual main event, or you go backstage, pretend to be a roadie or a makeup artist or a model or something like that. That is something that you can only do in the Hitman game. And it's not so much the size that matters for the level, it's the density you have and the opportunities you can take. Because what you can do in a Hitman game is you determine your own pace. It's not someone coming shooting at you and you need to run. You can walk through the level if you want for hours and study everything. You can also go in and challenge yourself immediately by stepping beside the lines, going backstage, drawing a weapon, or attacking someone. And that is, I think, pretty unique to the game.
And it did feel like you said, you could, if you wanted, just explore that palace for ages. Have a look at the models on the catwalk. Mingle with all the guests, and how many different ways are there? We saw Agent 47 tampered with the light fittings eventually to kill his target. But, is it possible to, as soon as he first walks down the stairs, can you just get your gun out, shoot him, and then run out? How many different ways are there to take out your target?
In an early version of the level, I managed to snipe him from the entrance. So yeah, that was. But you had to play the level already to do that, because initially you need to bring the sniper rifle with you to do something like that. So there's no straight answer to that, because it's the combination that makes it interesting. It's the procedural stuff when you've seen where you combine a bomb with a coin, and the coin distracts the guard, and the guard actually sees the bomb and reacts to a bomb lying around and not to the coin, and then brings the bomb into the building for you, to the armory, and things like that. This is what makes it unique, right? What we try to do is to have, let's say, the number of potential death traps per square meter. They should be pretty high. So you can use chandeliers, you can use gas heaters, or you can use speakers that you can lose and that can fall down. You can use poison. You can, of course use weapons, you can use a light rig, I can't count it all.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing, the players shall be creative with that.
Fantastic, and I guess you've got huge numbers of NPCs in there, like you mentioned, 300 apparently.
Yeah, it's thousands of NPCs, but 300 of these are what we call AI NPCs. Yeah, you can interact with everyone, also with the crowd characters. But the crowd characters, they become AI when you interact with them. But they don't have their own stories. But the 300 people, they have own stories, right? So they have their tragedies or their evil business going on. You can use it to your advantage. You'll find out, that camera team is going to have an interview with my target. So what happens if I disguise as one of the cameramen and go in there with him? What happens if I hide a bomb in the camera and trigger it when it's there? What happens if, right? And these are the things that make it interesting. And these 300 NPCs, we never had that many before, and that allows to tell really great stories. And we call it opportunities in the game. So players will have lots of these opportunities where they say, okay, this could be interesting, listen to this. This could be interesting, listen to this. The player can decide what to do.
And you mentioned at the beginning of the interview contracts and how I guess we're going to be able to have so much more potential to just make and mess about with whatever we want to do. That's got to be really exciting for you to be able to almost kind of give the tool set to the player and go, have fun, make your own contracts, and so many people to do it with now.
Yeah, we had this already in Absolution where we were really, really surprised how well contracts took off. Because bringing multiplayer to Hitman as a game isn't easy, because it's not a game where you say naturally PvP fits or something like that. So we haven't cracked that at least. But contracts, that's a multiplayer mode that really it caters to the spirit. People did contracts on YouTube with blood money before. The YouTube video, this is what I did, I filmed it, I proved it, now do it better. And then they posted like a reply video how they did it better, right? And this is what you can do in the game. We will have new features with the new contract that we'll talk about very soon that will make it even more interesting. But we also think that the fact alone that you have these way more opportunities and targets, and that the game is actually a game that has a life base, where the whole community and friend interaction is much stronger than it was before. It will increase the number a lot. On Absolution, we had unbelievable 30 million contracts being played. That was like way more than we had expected for it. And that was a game where we didn't do much with it. We didn't promote it much, we didn't add features, we didn't add locations, right? That was it. Now with having this World of Assassination, we think that's going to be a huge feature.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Hannes, for talking to us.
Thank you for your time and your interest.
Yes, looking absolutely spectacular.
Thank you.
That is Hitman. Make sure you check it out. Tell us in the comments what you think of the game, and don't forget to subscribe. We've got absolutely loads more videos coming up all through Gamescom.